Hello, and welcome back to the ISS Vanguard strategy campaign series. This is episode 7. We have just finished the shipbook phase, and we are getting ready to land on the planet of Matchstick. So let's jump right into it. Before we do the landing, just quickly go over cards and find out a little bit more about our crew. So we'll start with in recon. We've got Millie Peters. Again, this is her first mission. She's got that great special ability, spend a charge to choose a crew member assisting you and turn one of their dice in their roll pool to any result. There were some questions about this, right? Again, from Thomas, thanks. It's a little confusing, the wording on here, because it says their roll pool, but there is only one roll pool. So I think this is just a little misworded and maybe something a little lost in translation. Originally, Awaken Realms is a Polish company. I think probably what they mean to say here is may spend one of their dice from the roll pool. Nothing else really makes any sense. So that's definitely the intent, right? Is when they're assisting, it's the die they assisted with that you can change, not one of your own dice. And then about doing it multiple times, there's nothing that says you can't. So in the rules, it says you can use a charge anytime unless there's a restriction on the card. This card doesn't say anything about use once per dice check. It just says during a dice check. Now it says spend one charge. That means in order to activate it, it costs one charge and you're assisting, but I assume you can activate it multiple times. I don't know that we will, but I do think that option is open to us. So just finding out a little bit about Millie, who Millie was a photo reporter back on Earth when something important happened. She was there for sure. The Vanguard project wasn't any different. She must have been there. Millie didn't meet any requirements to join the mission, so she used her connections and even blackmailed some politicians to get a chance to enroll in the project. Even then, she had to spend several years taking courses, but finally, she achieved her goal. Interesting. So, look, where there's a will, there's a way. As long as she can contribute to the team, it doesn't really matter how she got there. And just quickly going through her cards, the ones again, I'm still at a point where I'm limiting myself to 10. She's rank 1, so there were not a lot of choices. Definitely took 2 copies of Hideout. 2 copies of Safe Path, because I like being able to move people around and potentially roll danger dice. Rerolls for green, that's her main thing. Rerolls for wild, and then 1 of each of the other 2. Reroll red, reroll blue. Next up, we have our other rank 1 going for the first time in security. We have Petra Sedlakova, and going over her backstory. Before she joined the Vanguard program, Petra was a part of a Slovakian mountain rescue service. She specialized in the hardest, most demanding deep cave rescue operations. Her aura of calmness often extends to her crew members, helping them focus in high-pressure situations. It sounds like she would have been perfect on that last mission where we had some stumbling in a cave. But she seems adaptive. I'm sure whatever environment we come across, she seems like a great option for security, looking out to protect the rest of the team. Card-wise, again, not a lot of choice here. Took a couple of green rerolls, a couple of red rerolls, again, a couple of the reroll any, and I'm not even talking about the bottom abilities, but we'll look at that. Grabbed 1 copy of Hemostatic Dressing, probably more for the refresh than the rerolling injury die, but you never know. Grabbed just 1 of the reroll blue. I did take a copy of Bold, because again, there was talk of a threat being here, so that might be useful. And if somebody gets injured, they can roll a die from their spent pool. And finally, the ability to take on somebody else's wound. Let's take a look at our returning crew. We've decided our team leader is the security turned science, Nicholas Green. And just to give you a quick reminder on his main backstory, the link between Nicholas and his armor can never be severed, but he's found new purpose aboard Vanguard where his strength and tenacity can be a boon. And we do have, since he's now rank 2, we've got a little bit more backstory from him from the personnel file. So let's take a look at that. It's hard being green in more than one sense. When I was a kid, other children teased me because of my name. I was sure this would. I was sure this would, and once I grew older, but things only got worse when I moved to a new city in the second year of middle school. No big deal, though. I rolled with it, knowing the teasing would end with school. After school, I joined the army. Guess what? Having a rookie with Green as his last name proved to be an endless source of bad puns. Again, no biggie. It's not like a grown-up can't handle a joke or two, but I do wonder if this wasn't the thing that subconsciously tipped the scale. Did I want to be better than the others, prove something, or was my decision to sign up unrelated to being a butt of some jokes? Whatever the reason was, when they announced this new experimental exosuit program, I was the only volunteer. The program promised a lot, but the price was heavy. Since this new suit tied directly into the nervous system and took over hormone management and many low-level metabolic functions, it would change you for life. There was no going back. Other people had plans, families. They didn't want a big hunk of metal and complex machinery strapped to their back till their dying breath. But I agreed, and after they did all the surgery and tests, I was introduced to my new lifelong friend, Red, my assistant AI. It almost felt like another joke. So, all right, some interesting, didn't even catch, right, the green in his name. He is not green anymore, having been on one of these missions. And tied into his AI, but the experimental armor reminds me of Iron Man 2. Sounds like his went better than Hammer's volunteers. All right, so let's look at his objective. Each time you assist, progress the track on this card by 1. Reset the track on this card at the end of planetary exploration. All right, so we got to do that 9 times for him to complete his side goal. So that's something we're going to keep in mind as Nicholas is going to be making sure to be involved with other people. Certainly every time Millie's acting, he'll be able to assist, and he'll be following somebody else around for sure to make sure that the job gets done. So that is Nicholas. In terms of cards, rank 2, so I did have some more choices. I definitely wanted to go with comparative analysis, right? So we can get lead tokens of any type. And we are trying to, there's a couple we want to get that we need for discoveries. Did grab, so this is, right, again, the no-brainer. You can roll any number of green dice or draw 3 cards. Another rank 2, we got reallocating resources, where we can discard 1 discovery to gain 1 discovery of any type, which is amazing. Like, that'll get us, now that I think about it, that'll get us exactly what we need. There's also the ability to gain 1 lead token of each type, so a lot of good possibilities there. Focus, took a couple of copies of this. Again, it's you basically convert 3 dice into 1 die of your choice or draw 3 cards. Took 2 copies of that. And then 1 copy each of repiling work. That was very useful last time, being able to move 1 lead over. But again, I think 1 copy in the deck is enough, especially with 4 cards that'll let us draw 3. We can certainly get through our deck if we need to. Last but not least is the Explorer, which lets us either reroll 2 dice if there's 2 biomarkers, or move up to 3 lead tokens. Finally, in engineering, right, we're bringing Boris, and just, I'm not going to read all his text, but just reminding, right, other crew members know him as something else, though. For them, he's the man who somehow reconciles a scientific approach with his love for natural remedies as he prepares in a small hydroponic herbal garden of his own design. And let's get to his backstory, which is file 17. All right. Personal research project, the Garden of Spacely Delights. The more time we spend aboard Vanguard, the more certain it becomes that the influence of the engine's alien core affects many seemingly unconnected things. Unimportant AI glitches, drowsiness, boosted immune systems, and rarely hallucinations. The core cannot be shielded, and there's no place aboard the ship that is safe from it. Fortunately, we haven't experienced anything serious yet. However, there are some casualties. Several of the specimens from my experimental garden withered or stopped growing as soon as we left the solar system. I checked conditions, such as temperature or lighting, and each element constituting the soil. Nothing should have affected the plants in such a way. The analysis of the influenced specimen didn't reveal much. The meristem of these plants had increased concentration of certain minerals. To my knowledge, this shouldn't hinder growth, but I'll make sure to explore the topic thoroughly. Okay, so, certainly explains his interest in, I guess his specialty is biology, but specifically plant biology. But let's look at his individual objective. Well, this makes sense. When you end a planetary exploration with at least 2 strange flora and 2 alien tech discoveries and no other discoveries except unique on your lander board, go to completion. All right. Well, I don't think that's particularly hard to pull off since we have the ability with Nicholas to swap out discoveries. I don't know that it's something we're going to want to do though. So, because that could stunt our development of research. I'm going to have to take a look at the research projects and see where we're at. And it's going to depend on what discoveries we find here on the planet. So we'll see. Maybe Boris will get a chance to work on or to complete his mission, his side goal. Maybe not. If he were in charge, he'd have more say over it. But Nicholas is calling the shots for this mission. Okay, so those are our characters. Again, we've got our lander board and everything set up. So let's jump right to the landing and see how that goes. And so for landing, for our lander board, right, we decided to beef up our agility to 4 and keep our sensors at 1. Hopefully we won't regret that decision. We are going to be dialing up for 17.
I'm sending coordinates of the area where the oxygen levels drop due to recent fires. Be prepared for extreme turbulence and low visibility. Good luck, away team.
Okay. Does your lander have 5 sensors and 5 agility? No, not even close. All right, so we start on the S track, which means we're going to need 3 trips through the danger die. All right, so we're going to roll the danger die and see what happens. All right, 4. I feel like that's usually a good result. Let's take a look at the app and see. Optimal trajectory. Awesome. All right, yes. Our agility is 4 or more. See, I told you it might pay off. Progress the landing track by 1. Okay, I was getting excited. I thought maybe, but I don't even know what would have happened if it hadn't been. So maybe nothing. So I'm definitely glad that we went ahead and did that. Oh, progress the landing track, move the marker 1 space to the right, but not be on the land. So we actually do get to progress it twice. Awesome. No. All right, I'm just going to quickly double check the logbook, make sure I got that right. Yeah, so I did confirm. I think it's the first time I've actually had a result like that in all the times I'm playing, which is pretty amazing. So on the actual result chart in the logbook, the result chart is if it's 4 or more, progress it 1 step. And then if you're looking at the actual steps of going through the landing process, step 3 is always going to be advance it 1. So we did that correctly. We actually do that optimal trajectory, get to advance twice. And if it hadn't been optimal trajectory, we would have just advanced once. So no complaints here. We're going to go ahead and roll again. And now we only need 1 more. Okay, 1. Let's see. That is a flash fire. Not so good. All right, so let's see what that means. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of what we had feared. We do have a choice, so we can extinguish the flames, but it's going to give each crew member a burned injury, or we can cut off the cargo hold. We would lose 5 supplies minus our sensors 1. We would lose 4 supplies, which would knock us from 6 down to 2. Now we do have the ability to get 4 more supplies, but that's going to prevent me from using a couple of people's charges potentially. All right, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to look a few things over, figure out what I want to do, and then we'll let you know what the decision is. Okay, so the real question is, what does burn do? If you roll, the special symbol, then all basic results count as accidents, which Could be annoying. Um, it could be not that bad. It's only a 1 in 6. We potentially have ways to mitigate that. Um, we have cards like Focus flying around. We have the ability to potentially reroll some injury dice or get rid of some injury dice. Medkit. Here's my bigger problem. I've got 2 rank 1s here and I've got 8 dice. Everyone starts off with an injury. That's going to effectively kill one of their dice right off the bat and kind of reduce the size of available dice for at least 2 of those characters. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to I'm going to lose the 4 supplies. So I'm down to only 2 supplies. I'll certainly be getting 2 more. And kind of one of the things I was thinking there too is I did decide, right, to take the stimulants, which can let everybody in the sector refresh 3 dice, roll the A die. So I feel like if I time that well and I manage to get everybody together, then I can, that's almost like a rest for everybody. So it's, maybe not quite 4 supplies worth, but maybe 3 worth. So I feel like that card can pick up a lot of the slack. We'll be cautious with our charges in case we need to use the utility mod that we have on the lander to get a couple of supplies back. So getting everyone burned just seems way too risky. I think worst case scenario is, this might be a shorter mission. We were hoping for a really long one, but, stuff happens. In this case, we had to cut off the cargo hold to prevent the fire from spreading. I think good choice, though, is what I'm going to say. And so we'll find out for sure later. But cut off the cargo hold, lose 5 supplies reduced by censure, so we lose 4 supplies. That's going to drop us down from 6 to 2. We do progress the landing track. Yes, it's at the end. We've landed successfully. All right, so we are now going to roll a d10 to see. There's another one of those situations where it's not always going to be the same every landing. So let's take a look. All right, that is 2. And go back to the app. All right, so we're going to find mission card M40, reveal it, and place it in the mission slot on the planet board. All right, so I'll get that set up, and we'll take a closer look at it. All right, so here's our mission. Research mission, M40. This should be a short mission. Well, that could be good since we don't have a lot of supplies. Gather some discoveries, get back to Vanguard. It shouldn't be difficult to find plants on this moss-covered planet. The objective is to have at least 3 discoveries on the lander board. When you fulfill the objective, go to log 351. All right, and now let's hear what Major Dahl has to say.
Good morning, crew. The planet you're about to explore was marked by builders as one of the cradles. It's bursting with life, but also dangerous. The captain asked me to teach you about all known hazards before you move in. Be extremely cautious and watch the oxygen levels. The planet's atmosphere encourages flash fires. In some areas, all it takes is 1 spark of static electricity. We also detect many complex life forms. The abundance of oxygen means their metabolism can be much faster than in any of Earth's flora and fauna. They may surprise you with their speed or strength. Since we're still not sure what to expect down there, your mission is just to scout the planet's outer layers and bring as many samples as you can.
Yeah, I hope we don't run into Audrey 2 here. But you can rest assured if we do, that's what I'm calling it. Although, we should probably let Boris name it, but we'll see. Okay. So let's see. All right. So place card P30 atop any cards in Sector 1. Place the lander in Sector 1. So I'm going to get all that set up. Interestingly, so the time I've done Matchstick before, there's a different mission. Right, if you roll higher on the die, which is pretty interesting. But I'll keep that. I'll let that be a surprise for you if you haven't played yet. And I'd recommend if you're watching this and then you're playing it sometime in the future, by all means try the other one. See what else the planet has to offer. But let me get things set up, and we'll see what the board looks like. Before we go to the game board, this is actually going to replace. This goes in the lander sector. Ashfield. This area was burning not so long ago. The oxygen level is low enough to land here without the risk of combustion. This card should always be on top of the other cards in the same sector. And it's pretty straightforward. We can forage, and we can potentially get a strange flora lead and a mineral lead. So that's that. We've already gone over the mission. Let's take a look at the global condition. It's actually a stack of 4 cards that we kind of semi-randomly had to put together. All right, so we can spend biology to gain 2 strange flora leads and roll danger die H. Oof. I feel like that's probably going to be risky. Gain a panicked injury, lose supplies, lose personal equipment, sacrifice a die. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to be using that ability. As for traveling, we either have to do a dice check with a green or blue die. If we get an accident, we're going to be rolling... also on, was that the H die as well? No, just an A die, so not as bad. And then, regardless, move to a connected sector after that. And it's got a time track, and eventually it'll reveal the next one. We do have a couple of discoveries to be collected, 7 and 10. And the biggest thing we have to do, right, we still have to draw on everybody's cards. I've dispersed the equipment. We do have to now see what our rank up conditions are. So let's draw 2 from here and take a look at what our options are. All right, so anytime during planetary exploration, we can examine a fossil in some particular areas. So it's a check. We're going to need 3 different symbols, or we can flip this card when you have at least 1 lead token on 3 different discovery decks. Well, we could do that very quickly with Nicholas has a card that lets you gain 1 lead token of each type. So I might be tempted to just do that. And that's a lot easier than doing the other one. So I'm not even going to bother looking at the board to see if we have these. That rank up is a piece of cake for this particular crew. So the bigger challenge is going to be, I don't know about getting 6 successes. Having lost 4 supplies, we might have limited time on this planet. So, this may be one, again, looking from a strategic standpoint, we'll see how things go early on, but our best bet might just to come back to this planet. And in fact, in order to help me make that decision, I'm going to take a look at the ship book to see what else is here. Because if we're planning on coming back to this planet, we're going to have plenty of energy to spend. We're certainly not going to need any energy or crew to scan the planet again. We already know what's what here. We're not going to learn any new information from that. We're not going to need any energy to travel. So we'd have 5 energy to spend within the planetary system. So I'm going to take a quick look and see how that might influence my decision. All right, and actually here's, if we take a look, right, at New Force Steady, the system we're in, there's a couple really nice things here. For 3 energy, we can assign a crew member to gain a microorganism discovery, which we need microorganisms, strange flora, and alien tech in order to do one of our research projects. The other ones each require 2 minerals, so maybe we'll be able to do one of those. But it'd be nice to be able to get that microorganism discovery. And then, that was, right, 300. And then for 2 energy, we can explore Burning Niflheim, which we haven't seen yet. So I think that is going to be our plan, is kind of, we've gotten the word from shipside, hey, quick in, quick out. We're low on supplies. So that's going to kind of be our thinking here, is we're just going to go for the 3 successes most likely. Just to make sure, again, we don't drain the planet of successes for our next trip down. I'd rather at this point have, and I don't know that we're going to be able to stick around long enough to get 6 successes. And so getting 4 or 5 could put things at risk and make it harder the other time when we come back down. So we'll see whether or not we can do Boris's, whether or not we're down here long enough. Nicholas, we'll just have to be pretty aggressive about him assisting as often as possible. He's really driven here to show he belongs, and as the leader is very hands-on, wants to train these other people, help them as much as possible. So, all right, so we've got a strategy. Let's find out a little bit more about the planet. All right, so Matchstick, codename NU4 SETI-B. Most of this planet is overgrown with a thick quilt of moss, troubled by raging flash fires resulting from an oxygen-saturated atmosphere. Preliminary scans indicate interesting finds underground. So, and again, so our goal here is not just to complete the mission, which is probably going to give us success. We definitely want to rank up our 2 level 1s at a minimum. So we can't, we could just stay in the lander sector, and I've seen some people play it this way, where you just keep going and gather discoveries. No, we're here to explore. So we're going to start to take a look at the planet, find out what's here, maybe get more intel for the next team that comes down. But I think having already made the decision that, we're going to come to this planet twice, it really does help inform our strategy and our planning for this mission. As to who's going first, we're going to start with Boris. And I've decided I'm going to keep the player order constant throughout, so it's always going to be recon, security, science, engineering when I lay out the boards, and we'll always go, left to right down the track. Of course, at the beginning of every round, we're going to strategically determine which section makes the most sense to start. And this time we are not going to have Boris go twice in the first round as we did with Jesse on our last one. I'll pay more attention to that. Okay, so we're going to start off with Boris. For his first action, pretty straightforward. He is going to drop that mining probe into play. We will just spend this construction die, and we'll put the mining probe right here next to the global events. So, hopefully as we advance the time tracks, we remember to do that. We'll take the token, drop it on the board. For his second action, he's going to go ahead and activate this, which is actually now, I just did a quick check of the rules. So he's going to do the dice check to forage. You can only check off one of these results. So it's either, and you have to work from top to bottom. So even if I manage to get both a gathering and a biology symbol, only one of them is going to count. That said, I do want to, make sure I get off to a good start. Boris, again, has the conversion ability, so he's going to roll blue dice. Nicholas, wanting to make sure that everything's going well and really helping with the crew and kind of trying to, prove it to himself as part of his individual goal, is also going to loan a blue conversion die. Again, I'm going... I want that strange, at least one of those strange flora leads, so I have other ways of getting the mining leads. So I want to get that biology symbol. I'm going to hold on to his biology die because he can assist that to somebody else in a place who doesn't have the ability to convert. But he has going to mark on to step 1 of his track, and we're going to go ahead and roll these 2 dice. And again, all we need is one good result here. Those are 2 very good results, and we certainly are in a position to, we could gain 2 strange flora leads, and I misread this. It's actually, let's see, yeah, I said it was H. It's not. It's just the A die. Gain 2 strange flora leads, roll A and add it, roll an A die and add it to your dice pool. Let's go ahead and, boy, I'm just so tempted to have Nicholas. It's, I really rolled really well. Nicholas could play Explorer to re-roll 2 dice. That would let him advance the track again, but because they are 2 separate instances of assisting. It says each time you assist, giving a die is assisting, then later on in the turn, playing a card is assisting. That said, he'll have plenty of opportunities to do it on other people's turns. So we'll hold off. We are going to go ahead and we're going to spend, it doesn't really matter, right? So we're going to spend 1 of the dice using his conversion ability to do the dice check ability to gain 2 strange flora leads and roll danger die A. So just anything but a 2. Sure, that's a 4, which is no effect on danger die A. So that's good. And then we will spend, so first things first, so that is 2 strange flora leads. So let's get that out. And we got a 2 and a 0. Okay, and remember, we are playing Deadly Space Mode, so we're going to need a total value of 4. Now we are going to spend the Vanguard die or result to resolve And again, we could choose either. We could either get a mineral lead or a strange flora, but let's keep working on strange flora. Especially Boris is, we may not be thinking about him getting his mission, but he sure is to get two strange flora discoveries and 2 alien tech. It's a 1, so 3 out of 4. Again, if we were playing normal mode, that would be a discovery, but we aren't. So it's going to take a little longer, but that is definitely a good first turn for Boris. That being the end of his turn, we'll go ahead and draw an event card. No hazards. That's a nice way to start it. So, not that I would have minded time tracks moving, but that's going to be the end of Boris's turn, and we're going to move over to Millie's first turn. Okay, so before I moved on, I did double check. I felt like I was getting off a little too easy. That's 2 leads for minimal risk. No, it's actually a B result, B danger die, which is considerably more dangerous. Not even sure I would have done it had I realized, but I did. And result 4 is Boris is going to get wounded. Now, again, I do have a couple characters who have dodge, but they can't use that because that's the bottom ability that lets you remove. A danger die, and that can only be played on your turn, right? When you're assisting, you can only use the top card. So I do have the also possibility, right? Millie could spend her one and only charge to prevent the injury. That said, Boris is rank 2, so having something slide down, it's not going to cost him any dice like it would with the rank 1s. So he is going to go ahead. He is wounded. Again, he's rank 2, so it doesn't really matter where. And, we've got the med kit. We may just get rid of that injury die before he goes again. But that does do it for Boris's turn. So now we're on to Millie. Okay, so I think having looked over things, I realized that I can't move. I'm paying closer attention, right? I cannot go from Sector 5 to Sector 3. So I'm going to have to come back up this way regardless, which is a little terrifying because of these multiple B dies that I have to pass through. But so we do have some ways of mitigating that. But I think, it makes sense to come down this way and to kind of work our way across and up and around. And depending on how things go, maybe we'll send somebody down here. Millie is going to use her first action to head down to the dangling roots. And that is going to cost me 2 dice. Boy, this would have been a great planet to have the zip line. So we'll know it for next time, because even if we end up landing here, zip line would also be very good there. So she has moved down. I got to spend 2 dice to that. I'll spend her blue, and she's got the conversion ability to get fist if she needs it. Although it doesn't really seem here. We don't really need this Xeno ability. So we'll get rid of that. All right. So now she is going to attempt to clear the area. And let's zoom in here and take a closer look at this action. Clear the area or extract water? I actually... I don't know. I feel like we are down here looking for discoveries. That is our mission. So extracting water seems more along those lines. I think maybe if we're like planning an extended stay and clear the area, maybe we could set up camp here. But Millie's going to make the call to go ahead and extract water. So in order to do that, we're either going to need a blue and a green, or we're going to need biology. So, all right. So I think for this part, Nicholas, right? Remember, she's got the live streaming rig. Everyone can assist, and she's got those charges to convert. Nicholas, we're going to get him in on the act. He's going to assist with the biology die. There are 3 icons here. There's a lot going on here, so certainly he'd be able to play Explorer. I think she does have a dodge, and while I do have to roll a danger die D here, I had to look at I had to really zoom in a close up to see that. I do have to roll a danger die D for either of these actions. I also want to allow myself the possibility to go ahead and try and activate the global condition, which would take another biology symbol. So I want to make sure that I'm rolling enough dice here that that I can get everything I need. And again, if somebody assists her with a Vanguard, I'm probably in really good shape here. So we will have Boris do that, assist with a Vanguard die. So that gives me the blue and the green I need. And let me just think this through one more sec. All right, I want to make sure I'm able to play cards here. I have a bunch of things I want to do in this dice check. So just to kind of give myself max flexibility, she's going to roll her basic blue die, which will allow me to play the dodge if I need to. But just to give myself full option, a lot of different things. I have a couple focuses. I have so many things I could do. I'm going to roll. Everyone's going to assist with one die. So first up, since Nicholas is assisting, we're going to move his mission 1. And then we're going to go ahead and roll these dice and see what happens. We will start with Millie's basic blue die. All right. And let's not forget, I am going to have to roll this. So let me do I'll go ahead and roll the danger die now. That's a 1. We'll take a look at that in a moment. The die from Petra is also going to be a basic result. Then the die from Nicholas is going to be exactly what we were hoping for in biology. And finally, Boris helping out. It's an accident. Okay, and again, right, so I am using the live streaming rig. Just to remind you, this is what's allowing this insanity to happen. Other crew members may assist you from other sectors. So even though Millie's here by herself, she's taken time to set up the rig so everybody's watching from the lander sector and kind of guiding her along. And no, don't touch that plant, touch that one, and dig over there if you're looking for the water. So having gotten all that help, let's take a look. Let's start with danger die D. Okay, so 1 is no effect. Awesome. So nothing bad is going to happen from that. That is going to free us up to... And I can do these things, right? I can play cards, mix it in and out at any time. So I'm just going to work my way one step through. I'm still in step 5, checking for dice combinations. Check that. So I do have to do step 4. I do have to do modify results before. So here's kind of what I'm thinking. I think I'm actually I'm not fully where I need to be here, and she could spend a charge. But here's what I'm going to do. Nicholas is going to go ahead. He's going to play the Explorer card so that he will be able to, he really wants to help out here. So now I re-roll 2 dice. So I'm going to re-roll this danger die. And I'll re-roll this blue die. And let's see what happens. Not much better. All right. Well, Nicholas says, I tried. Did not work out so well. At this point, then the question is, right, I could use one of her charges. I don't really need the 2 danger dice, but then again, this Vanguard die, I mean, it's only a 50-50 shot. I don't think I want to burn another die trying to do it. So what we're going to do, I can do it with a blue or green, and there's no penalty for accidents. Yeah, so I actually did not need to do that at all, but he wanted to play the card. So, all right. So I am done modifying the results. I'm going to move on to step 5, which is now checking for dice combinations. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to do the global condition, right? So I gain 2 strange flora leads, and I have to roll danger die. And this is a B. Oh, and one thing I noticed looking at these cards, right? It's very hard to tell the difference between the A and the B. Here, I'll just show you again, because the bottom edge of the B, this is what confused me. I don't even know if you can see it there, but the bottom edge of the B is like flush with the bottom of the die. So you could look like an A, but what I realized is the A symbol comes to a point. So it's actually very easy to differentiate A from any other result, right? It's if you just see that little triangle at the top. So amazing that in as many games I've played, I've never noticed that before, but I did now. So all right, so I'm going to roll a danger die. This one's a little tougher, right? It's a danger die B, so it's risky. And that's a 4, which is not a desirable result. That would be to gain a wounded injury. So I am still in step 5, checking for dice combinations. And we are not yet resolving injury and danger dice. So I'm going to go ahead, and Millie is going to play dodge. For the bottom ability, discard 1 danger die from your roll pool. Costs a basic. So I will spend the basic blue that she had thrown in there. So that is now discarded from the roll pool. We don't have to worry about that. And I was prepared if the D die result was bad, I would have discarded that, and I probably just wouldn't have bothered chancing the global condition. But now we move on. Resolve special effects. There are no special effects. Mark outcomes. Again, we didn't have to, we can use this. It counts as a blue die. There's nothing here that says accidents have to be spent on anything. So green and blue is going to give me what I need, and we're going to go to log 304. All right, log 304, let's find out what happens.
Away team, exploration report MI9.
We started extracting water from twitching roots. The water was filtered and purified by plant's parenchyma. At first, it went smoothly. Then, suddenly, all the roots were sucked up into the cave's ceiling. Small, wriggling worms poured from the holes. They secreted corrosive agents that began to damage our suits. We had to leave the site.
That doesn't sound good. Oh, but we gained a supply. Nice. And replaced with card P135. All right, let's take a look. Boy, there is a considerable jump in difficulty on this planet from the others we've gone to. The ground is covered with countless worms secreting caustic liquid. Each crew member who ends their turn in this sector rolls danger die D. Eesh. You could stick around to catch the specimens, although that's dangerous to gain 2 live specimen leads. All right, so that'll go into play, and unfortunately, that was the second action for Millie. So, she's gonna have to deal with those wriggling worms. And then we also need to go ahead and draw an event, as that is the end of Millie's turn. All right. There is a thieving creature here. Okay, so again, we've had this before. We can sacrifice a die to gain 3 live specimens or lose the supplies. Well, we definitely do not want to lose the supply we just gained. We've uncovered this water supply we can use, and no, the thieving worms are pulling it back down, and it's just a tremendous exertion of effort as Millie prevents the worms from pulling her canteen and the crate she's filled with water back down. But she manages to get it, and not to mention some of those worms get smushed in the process, so now they've got some live specimens. Unfortunately, that was a lot of energy, and so as a result, she is going to have to exert, and not the exert ability, but just thematically, she's going to lose a die. She's still at 7, so she'll still get 4 back on a rest. I don't want to lose any of my active dice, so I think, we haven't seen anything that requires science yet, and but there's definitely stuff that's going to need Xeno, so let's keep options open. And that's going to go back there. But we are going to get, and this is, let's see, we're going to get 3 live specimen leads. Okay. So let's see. We have a 2 and a 1. All right. Was not expecting this to come about. And a 2. Holy cow. Okay, so again, Deadly Spokes mode, we need 4, so we're just going to drop both the 2s first. That's going to get us a live specimen lead, and then afterwards we'll put the 1 on. And, you know, maybe we'll be able to, if Nicholas can draw through some cards, we'll be able to move that over to the Strange Flora. What did we find? It's live specimen is undulating Canidaria. Planetary exploration. During dice check, you may place this card in the roll pool to get xenology or blue plus green added to the dice check. All right. So, you know, Boris is a little less than excited about that. He was like, those aren't the kind of discoveries we were looking for. I was hoping for alien tech and other things, and strange flora. But we're not done yet. We have plenty of options. Again, we have 2 copies of the reallocating resources so that we could potentially shuffle around. Let's also remember, right? Let's not forget our mission, which I said was so easy because we can reallocating resources. It's just to get leads on 3 different decks. We've got it on 2 different ones. So if we can, if this freaking time track would ever advance and we could get the mining probe going, we'd be all set. Last but not least, we do have to roll a danger die on the D table. A 1 would be good, a blank would be good, a 2 we could live with, a 3 or a 4 would suck. It's a 2, so we just have to, and there's the card, we just have to spend a die as opposed to getting exhausted or panicked. Spending that die, I think Millie's going to spend her Vanguard because she can't use her ability on herself to reroll her Vanguard. Yeah, so that's going to do it for Millie. And so let's head over to look at Petra. All right, well, I feel like we've already made our decision. You know, the only question would be, is anybody going to remain behind? What's the fun in that? Maybe Boris, who's got that conversion ability, and can, has the ability to do stuff with mission tokens already there. We don't have to make that decision yet. I will say though, right, as far as the medkit goes, yeah, I guess Nicholas could either take care of that or hand it off to Boris. Where are we looking at? Yeah, everyone's spread out too with stimulants. Right now, these 2 would get 3 back. That's not optimal. Maybe we do all continue to head out. I can always cycle back to the lander sector and work on this. If we get everyone together in one of these sectors over here, then we can use the stimulants more effectively. Either way, Petra is going to be moving. So she's going to use the jetpack. So we just have to spend a red die instead of having to spend 2 dice. We'll go ahead and spend the... well, we have plenty of ways of... Yeah, let's spend the defense die instead, or spend the strength die instead. All right, and then... wrong one. So then we don't want her to stick around there. So want her to move to next to Sector 5. So we could just roll a blue or a green die, or we could spend a red die and use the jetpack again, right? It doesn't say, there's no limitation on how many times you can use it, just every time you use it, cost an action. I do want her to hold on to her xenology conversion. I will go ahead. I want to save that Vanguard in case Millie needs some assistance. So we will spend the protect die. And that's going to move her here. And then we're going to, Intrepid, as she's heading out, we are going to have to take a look at log 245.
Wow!
What's happening, guys?
Nothing, really. It's just the vegetation here. You should see it. It really is breathtaking.
All right, P140. Let's take... Of course, I get rid of my science die, and that's what I needed. But hanging gardens, colorful garlands of meaty leaves hang from trees, or... well, I can't... hang from stone shells and dip into murky puddles. All right, so the action here is examine the leaves. It does require the rolling of danger die C, which could be exhausted or spend a die. Get 3 strange flora leads if we complete the top track, and then go to log 246. All right, so we'll have to figure out if there's the best way to go about that. That is the end of her turn, though, so let's just take note. There is a water symbol here. We're going to draw an event. There is also caves and vegetation, lots of biome symbols on this planet. Yet none of them match extreme scintillation. It's actually good. I've been waiting quite a while to finally move some of these tracks. So the mining probe, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing what else is here. I feel like we're in pretty good shape. There's strange flora leads all over the place on this planet. All right, so that is it for Petra, which brings us to Nicholas. So I think first things first, before we forget, let's use this med kit. It's not an action. Just spend a green die. You or another crew member in your sector discards 1 injury die. Return this to the armory. So let's go ahead and have him spend his basic green die. Yeah, nobody needs that green conversion ability, so he'll spend the basic green die. All right, so medkit has been used. We'll get rid of Boris's injury die. And now let's figure out, I mean, probably just going to head out to join everybody else. It's a lot of dice expenditure, but you know what? Everybody will be here as we come around to Millie's turn. That'll be an opportunity to then use the stimulants to their maximum effectiveness. Each crew member in your sector. Yeah. All right, so let's hold on to that science die. It's going to cost us 2 dice to move. So far, I haven't seen anything that requires gathering. And we're going to be getting dice back anyway. So, oh, actually, you know what? Instead of spending the 2, this is probably a good... Yeah, I could just spend a charge and roll an A die. That's going to save some dice. He's got 3 charges. So let's do that. Take our chances. It's blank. So, all right. So Nicholas can just go ahead. Yeah, actually, well, that's really good because it doesn't even require an action. And then we'll just have him move using the jetpack. So we don't have to deal with anything that might happen here. So then the question is, do I want to try and take a stab at this? No, he's only got 2 cards. So I'm just going to go ahead and prepare for his second action, right? So he moved down for free with a charge, then he spent an action to move, and there you go. Then his final action is just to prepare. I'm not going to try and do any dice checks. I'm just going to draw a card. Move 1 lead token from any discovery deck to any other discovery deck. Fantastic. I'm not going to do it now because we still want to try and get that mining. We need one more deck with a lead so we can complete our rank up. But those were both his actions. We'll move this over here for now. We will flip and draw an event. All right. Again, 3 symbols here, but not any on the card Mesmerized. So once again, time tracks advance. I am perfectly happy with that happening. Okay. We've now reached the end of the round. I'm probably not going to change the turn order based on how things are looking out, but let me take a quick look over, make sure that's the route I want to take. Yep, confirmed. We're going to start with Boris. Let's get everybody down there working together. Let's take advantage of those stimulants. So, Boris is going to have to spend 2 dice. I'm going to hold on to the gathering die for now. So I'm going to spend these 2 to move him the first step. And then we want to get him away from that wriggling mast. At that point, we are going to have to do a dice check with a green or a blue. So I think probably green. All right, so just don't want an accident here. Did not get an accident, got a Vanguard symbol. And we're not going to use that on anything. We're just going to use that to travel. So that's going to bring him over here with the rest of the crew. And then we'll just go ahead and draw an event. Very simple and straightforward turn for Boris. All right. All right, this has got a bunch, but I'm not... Oh, yeah, we got caves here. So there's a deep fracture. Oh, well, we're familiar with this. All right, so... I just feel like things are working in our favor here. Deep fracture. There are caves here. We can sacrifice a die to gain 3 mineral leads or roll danger die A. Well, you know what we're doing. We are going to sacrifice a die. Yeah, I don't think I need the technology. I know there are some cards in his deck that may key off of that construction symbol. So I'll hold on to that. Although, you know what? I don't really want to... I may still use his charge to refresh all his blue dice. But no, honestly, if I gain another charge, it's not going to be to Boris, right? It's probably going to be to Petra because I just don't want people getting wounded. So I can say right now, and I want to make sure I have the ability to get more supplies. We've done pretty good. Haven't used any yet. We haven't even had to drop the dehydrated supplies, but I don't want to. I want to leave that option open. So I'm probably not going to use his ability. So I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice a technology die. Maybe I change my mind later. But you know, I want to keep my options open. I just hate to give up gathering dice. I don't know if I'm going to need them, and I don't want to use one of his available dice. Okay, so we are now going to gain 3 mineral leads. Okay. Finally, it's very exciting. All right. Boy, we've already pulled all the 2s out of the bag. Okay. 1, 0, and 0, but we do get +1 card. But even before that happens, we have immediately completed our rank up, right? Which says, anytime during planetary exploration, flip this card when you have at least 1 lead token on 3 different discovery decks. So that happens as soon as we place down the first token. So that's done. Somebody's going to get a card. The only person who's not at max hand size is Millie, so she will draw a card. Stroke of Inspiration. Cool. And that is the end of Boris's turn. Oh, and now we are actually free to manipulate those decks. We don't have to worry about it. Okay. So, having finished with Boris, we're now going to go on to Millie's turn. Millie's first action is going to be to get the heck out of here. We'll roll a green die and hope not for an accident. Did not get an accident, so Millie has successfully moved. All right. Now we're just going to freaking beast this thing exactly as we had talked about, the whole reason we wanted Millie here in the first place. So before I do anything else, remember with equipment, if it's gray, you can freely exchange. It's not an action. You can just pass it around. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to give the stimulants to Millie. Everyone's here in the same sector. We're going to roll the A die, or A danger die. Danger die A. It is 1, so she's going to have to spend a die. We'll just spend basic red. Okay. But that was well worth it. So we return this card to the armory. Everyone refreshes 3 dice. So a lot of choices, a lot of things to factor in here. I can tell you right off the bat, I want these Vanguard dice back because Millie's about to do a key dice check. And actually, that was the only one. The other 2 still had theirs. But I'm going to look through. I'm going to figure out what everybody's doing, and then we'll resume. All right, quickly running down the line from Boris's standpoint, he's going to get his Vanguard, his basic. I was a lot looking at just getting the basic blue and greens back for a lot of people. Certainly this DNA die. Petra only had 3 dice spent, so I had accidentally put one of her dice here before. And then get the Vanguard back for Millie along with basic. Okay, so first action was to move here. Then we took care of that, which was not an action. Now Millie is going to go ahead and she is going to examine the leaves and no doubt get quite a bit of help here. It's exactly what we're talking about. We can use charges. I think if everyone just throws in a Vanguard, we don't have to have everyone throw in a Vanguard die. We will have those 2 throw in a Vanguard die. He can throw in a science die. Or should he hold on to, maybe should hold on to it in case, what do we need? 6 successes here. So we're going to need 3 science, 3 biology, or Vanguards to replace them. All right, so I'm going to look over my cards and think on this a little bit. I don't want to burn through all of Millie's charges if I don't have to. I am cognizant of the fact that with the bioanalyzer or the mapping mini drones, we have the ability to get a biology symbol. And we need to pair that with science. So Nicholas is going to give science. They are going to give the 2 Vanguards. She's going to roll 3 dice. That's going to afford me some flexibility if I want to have, Boris assist with focus. So this will give me a lot of good options. I do have to roll a danger die. That there's not much to be done for that. Danger die C. So let's start with Millie's dice. We're going to have to keep these separate so as to remember whose belongs to what. Nicholas did throw in a die, so we're going to advance his track. So he's only got to do that 4 more times. Halfway there. All right. Wow. Millie, who is, happy to accept help from other people, doesn't really need it. She's, this overexertion, though, is probably, unsurprisingly, given how hard she's working on this and really doing the bulk of the work by herself with all these Vanguard results, she is going to get exhausted as a result of this. Except maybe she's not. We'll come back to that in a moment because we're not resolving that yet. We do have to roll everybody's dice. So let's see what Petra brings to the table. Oh my God. Double Vanguard. How about you, Nicholas? What do you got? Sure. Science. Everybody has hit so far. Boris, what do you got for us? You missed the dice tower, but I would have rolled a double Vanguard. Wow. Okay. Let's see what he actually gets. Oh, look, it's a double Vanguard. Folks, I don't even know what to say. In fact, I'm actually going to have to take a moment here to figure out how crazy I want to go in terms of do I want to play any cards? So let me look over my options and then we'll resolve all this. All right, so going down the list, right, we're checking for dice combinations. Millie is going to spend one of her own dice. It's going to be the scouting die to play a card. Right, it was a Vanguard symbol, which can count as anything. So she can use that to play Respite, which is going to let her refresh a die, and she's going to refresh the die she just spent. That's to get that die back. Then, unfortunately, we have to resolve this. She would be exhausted, But Petra, who's a protector, is protecting her from the exhaustion. I think at one point, as she's just like frantically going through the leaves, and Petra can see that Millie is like on the verge of collapse from how hard she's working, will dive right in and assist her. She's going to spend her charge to prevent that injury. Then we're left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we only needed 6, so we can advance this 3 times. I guess technically we could advance the bottom track. No, it actually doesn't work out that way. But it's fine. We don't need to be greedy. And we're going to get both tracks anyway. So, yeah. So we spend all these dice. Let me get everybody's back where they belong. Hers was the red Vanguard. His was the science. His was the blue Vanguard. Those two go back to Millie. So we are going to gain 3 strange flora leads and go to log 246. Yeah, it's a little disappointing because I was hoping to do the recompiling work to just move that live specimen over, but and then start anew. But that card can only be played on Nicholas's turn. That's not an assist type card. That's before or after an action. So let's go ahead and draw our 3 strange flora leads. We have a 0, a 0, and a 0. Well, never mind. I guess we will still be able to do it, perhaps. 0, 0, 0, +1 card. Would have rather seen the charge. My goodness. Oh, no. One of them is +1 charge. So we got a charge, a card, and another 0. We just pile everything on there. Okay, so that's easy. Millie is going to draw a card, and Petra is going to get a charge back. Awesome. And we still don't have that discovery. We are then going to go to log 246 as we have successfully examined the leaves.
Field Research Journal 278C.
Nothing happened when we cut, warmed, cooled, or exposed the plant matter to various agents. By nothing, I mean we got entirely expected results. The leaves dripped sap or burned. But when we applied electricity to our samples, I apologize for the unprofessional language, they exploded with a blaze of colors. Veins started to glow. Spiracles opened wide, and unknown organisms similar to nematodes squeezed out in an attempt to escape the hostile environment.
Whoa. That sounds frightening. Oh my goodness. Gain a success and 3 more live specimen leads. Sure, why not? And then replace with a P000. All right, let's do this in order. We have our first success. We need 2 more of those to make sure we can rank some people up. 3 more live specimen leads. How many tokens can we put on 1 card? We are currently at 6. All right. Pull 3 out of the bag here. Wow. Okay, well. So science can save the card. We got a 1 and 2 zeros. So the answer would be 9, but we're going to do the 1 first. So those zeros don't get shuffled back in. So we'll do this thing 1 at a time. So that gets us up to 4. So we have gained our strange flora discovery finally. This 0 is going to be shuffled back into the bag. Then we will drop down. Those 2 zeros. We picked up sentient mycelium. There is a fungus among us. Ship management. When unloaded, you may discard this card to place 1 command token in the command pool. Well, that's cool, but probably going to want the strange flora more, although that depends. If we manage to pick up another strange flora, maybe not. Let me update the P00, and then we'll get ready to do an event. All right, the event is a cooling malfunction, maybe. Probably not. Nope. Just time tracks at this point. So 1 here, 1 here. Excuse me. that is the end of Millie's very effective turn, which will bring us to Petra. I mean, at this point, there are a couple of options. So the question is, do we want to examine down here? Do we want to see what's here? Petra has the jetpack, so it's easier for her to move here. So she'll go ahead and do that with this red die. All right, so we're going to go to log 245 and find out what's here. Is carnivorous thicket in this sector? No, it is not.
Away team, exploration report MI13.
The cave is no different from others we've already seen. The only features worth mentioning are a deep pond and a cluster of large vines that grow out of it. We also see an elliptical shape beneath the surface. We're moving closer to investigate. Oh damn! It's moving toward us! Run!
P001 on top of any cards in the sector. Place the carnivorous thicket standing in the sector and get the threat. Carnivorous thicket becomes active. Read its threat card and apply its rules whenever necessary. Oh boy. Okay, let's get that set up. Oh boy. Yeah, this thing's frightening looking. Here's the miniature, and here's the card for the carnivorous thicket. So yeah, I think back on movie night one night on the Vanguard, they were watching an ancient Earth film, comedy / musical, Little Shop of Horrors. And boy, this is a big shop of horrors. I mean, this thing, that was Audrey 2, was the mean green mother effer from outer space, which I think we've got our episode title. Yeah, this is Audrey 3, 4, and 5. So Audrey 3, 4, 5 is on the rampage here. Let's find out what it does. Long tendrils hover above the ground, dripping with thick sap and poison. Using brute force isn't an option here. This threat cannot be moved in any way, so none of those security abilities are going to work. All right. First thing it's going to do is vicious tendrils. Each crew member in the sector with carnivorous thicket or a sector connected, ignoring the past arrowheads, so it's just got long reach no matter what, rolls danger die A and spends a die. And it's going to do that twice. Then its third one is corrosive spores. Each crew member who is not in the lander sector rolls danger die D or sacrifices a die. Yikes. Reset this track. All right. In order to it could be defeated. We have to wither it. In order to do that, we need 5 successes along the track, which can be accomplished with biology, xenology, or triple red. So I think we're probably going to be looking to do that with biology, xenology. Accidents are bad. Punching this thing is bad. Do not taunt happy, fun tendrils. Yeah. So that's the carnivorous thicket. That is a heck of a threat that we've got to deal with now. And boy, everybody's nearby, so it's just going to be whacking everybody. That was Petra's first action. So Petra does have another action to potentially start wailing away at this thing. Well, more like studying it, right? Wailing away is the wrong approach. Now, Petra does have... she does have a little bit of xenology. Unfortunately, not much more than that. Now, I don't have to roll a danger die in order to make this check. So, yeah, I mean, I'd love if somebody could assist with her remotely, but that is not something anybody can do. She does not have a live streaming rig. She is on her own, radioing, help. Actually, she doesn't even have time for that. She's too busy trying to go after this thing. Yeah, I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm just going to roll the 1 die. I got a 5 and 6 shot at success. And she does have a reroll if she needs it. It's the only, you know what? It is worth rolling an extra because if I get a respite, I could get this die back. That's not necessarily that useful. She'll have the opportunity to get it back on her next turn anyway. That would be, it's people need to loan her dice. Her loaning a red die to anybody doesn't help. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about playing a card. So being able to refresh the Vanguard die. You know what? I am going to roll an extra die. I'm going to roll the green because the blue basic, she might help Boris out on his turn, if depending on how the turn order plays out. So, all right. So we're rolling these 2 dice here, hoping to be able to do a dice check and also get a little bit of progress on withering this thing. Ooh, that's nice. That's better than I expected. All right, forget playing the card play. We're going to convert that to Xenology and then use that Vanguard symbol. We are going to advance the Carnivorous Thicket 2 of the 5 steps it's going to take to successfully wither this thing and make it either die or retreat or something. Good job, Petra. That was very impressive. That was both of her actions, and now we will draw. And at this point, hope for an event. We do not want these time tracks going. That's gotten nasty. Is there quicksand here? As a matter of fact, there is. As the Carnivorous Thicket, as Audrey 345 bursts up out of the ground, all the soil is kind of pulling down, and Petra, just furiously trying to do what she can, starts getting pulled down. She's going to have to either discard a card, lose a supply, or sacrifice a die. That's an easy choice. She's going to discard. She's going to discard dodge. Although, let's re-roll a green. You know what? I'm going to hold on to dodge. There's a lot of nasty danger dice here, so I'm going to hold on to that in case it comes up where she has an opportunity, where she's initiating a tough check. Okay, so that is it for Petra's turn. Fortunately, the time tracks do not advance. Now we're on to Nicholas. At this point, the scientist might be a little interested. The soldier in him, though, is taking over. As he needs to get there ASAP. All right, so for Nicholas's first action, I am just going to have him spend the 2 dice. I want to save his charges there's another opportunity moving up here, and also it'd be nice to not have to deal with these danger dice. It'll also very quickly get him across the board without having to spend any actions. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 dice. We'll spend this basic green. We'll spend this construction. So those are the 2 dice that is going to get Nicholas over here. And now he is in a position to take a shot at this thing. Let's see. In terms of cards, he doesn't have much useful, but Petra's here. He could re-roll a green die. So you know what? I'm going to have him roll 2 green dice. She can also assist. I don't think any of her assists are particularly useful, though. Yeah, we don't want to punch this thing, even though she could. That's his convertibility. We're just going for... there's the possibility of the 3 red dice, and we don't have 3 red dice. She could loan 1. He's got 1, so we're not in a position to do that either. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and roll these 2 green dice and see if he can put a dent, or if he gets really lucky, take it out. Boy, yeah, that's going to be 2 more ticks on the track. And those are his 2 actions. Wow. All right. Last but not least, let's draw an event. Yeah, Perilous Overlook. All right, so you may roll Danger Die A to refresh 2 dice. I mean, Nicholas Danger Green. Danger is his middle name. He for sure is going to do that. And yeah, he chooses the danger and nothing bad happens. He gets 2 dice back. We're going to get back that bio die. We're going to get back that Vanguard die. Wow, yeah, I was not paying attention. But I'm going to move forward since I've already resolved the event. He's got the bioanalyzer, which gives both a bio and a xenology result, which would have cleared that track out. As it was, we already moved on, so everybody has gone. So it is the start of a new round. All right, but he's there. He can use the bioanalyzer, so for sure, whoever goes next is going to be in a position to deal with this. All right, I think in this case, I'm probably going to have Millie go next. Is there any benefit to having Boris go first this time? Well, yeah, sure. The benefit is to not let them get too split up. But I'm looking up top at this thing, which is going to require scouting, which is not Boris's forte. So I do think at this point we're going to switch over. We're going to have Millie go first. So in order to travel, it's going to cost her 2 dice. All right. That's what we got to do. So she joins, and then I don't want to take a chance. And amazingly, this carnivorous thicket is very ominous looking, but it has not tried to feed on our blood yet. But I know it's coming soon, so let's just take this thing out. All right. All right, so this is going to be a situation. She is going to roll 0 dice, and Nicholas is going to assist with his biology die. That is going to give us 1 more tick on his special ability, or on his mission. And we're going to go ahead and roll that single die knowing we're locked in. Cannot fail here. She'll just spend a charge if we have to. But the way we've been rolling today, why bother, right? So got it. So that is that. We are now going to go to log 201, having... team having worked together, remembering, I can imagine as they were remembering the climactic battle scene from Little Shop of Horrors, as Seymour fights off Audrey 2. They have similarly managed to take out Audrey 3, 4, 5. Hello, it's future me. You might notice I'm wearing a different shirt. It is not past me from our first episode. It's actually I was going through doing the editing of the video and realized I cut out a whole section, a full turn, and a whole bunch of card reveals. So just kind of run through what happened, do some log entries, and catch you up to where we are in the game. Right, we had just defeated the carnivorous thicket. So the next step then was to go ahead to log 201 and see what happens there. So let's take a look.
It's done. We're safe. Well, at least from this monster.
Good to hear that, away team. Take what you can and return to the ship.
What about our original mission?
If you feel confident, you have permission to continue, but you've already done enough.
We'll do more. All right, so gain 2 strange floor leads and unique discovery 7. Replace the POI in the sector with carnivorous thicket with card P136. Discard carnivorous thicket and start a card. If you want, you may discard your current mission card. We did not discard our mission card because, as it turned out, getting those 2 strange floor leads ended up getting us another discovery, which did complete the mission. So let's take a look at unique discovery. We'll take a look at card P136, and we'll take a look at what happens when we complete the mission. So the discovery we got was just superfluid slime, notoriously tricky to contain. Nothing special, but we picked that up. And then we found one of Audrey 345's carnivorous eggs, and we're going to bring that back to the ship because absolutely nothing bad has ever happened in science fiction when you bring an alien entity's egg on board your spacecraft. So we'll be unloading that later. I'm sure everything will be fine. I'm sure Audrey 345 is not going to have any babies let loose on the ship. Our scientists are just going to study it. That they were happy, the scientists were, when we brought back radioactive alien artifacts. So surely they'll like seeing an egg. So that was that. Then we did. We got a new POI in the sector, a plant corpse. The cave once inhabited by the carnivorous thicket is still empty, excluding the thicket's rotting body, which gave us now a new task we could optionally try. This is the end of the line for the sector. So, but recover biomass, could gain supplies, and 3 strange flora leads, although certainly a lot of work to gain those supplies. So, we'll debate whether or not this is worth doing. So meanwhile, like I said, we had also completed our mission, which was to just get 3 discoveries on our lander board. Actually, now I realize I'm not sure I did pick up the slime now. It might have been later, but the carnivorous egg would have triggered it. Either way, so if the slime shows up later, then that's when I got it. But, all right, so having completed this, we go to log 351.
We've got everything you wanted. The lander is packed up and ready for liftoff.
Great job, away team. You have my permission to return.
We're on our way. However,
Yes?
we're not sure if our findings have anything to do with the builders. Shouldn't we explore deeper layers of the planet?
It's your call. We're satisfied, but the captain always expects more,
Okay, so we gain a success, discard the mission card, and find mission card M41, which is an optional mission, and let's take a look at that. Optional mission, Moss Heart. Our mission is simple. Scout the heart of this green planet. Our readings indicate it conceals something important. So the goal here is to reach the sector with the V, which again is down towards the bottom. That's Sector 7, completion. When you fulfill the objective, discard this mission. So then we completed, that had been Millie's second action. We completed her turn. I don't remember exactly what the event was, but it caused me to spend one of her dice. So that was the end of her turn. Then we moved on to Petra's turn. At that point, I decided, you know what? Let's have her go down and scout out and check out this sector. It took her 2 actions to get down there. She did roll an accident on one of the travels and ended up taking an injury. Which I debated, I don't even remember if I think I had a charge at that point on her, but decided just let her take the injury. She had already sacrificed a die earlier, so it wasn't going to cost me in that regard. So she went down, where, we then read log entry 289. So upon entering Sector 7. So let's go ahead and see what happens there.
Personal Journal 181F.
When I entered the cave, leaving all the greenery behind, I felt like I was entering an ancient cathedral. Stalagmites resembled columns, lichen looked like bleached frescoes, and fractured ground brought to mind old tiles. At the end of this stood a gate, a magnificent portal, covered in sedimentary rock, but with the builder's marks still visible. It was a truly religious experience.
All right, so card P133 in this sector. Are you on Brimstone? No. Are you on Matchstick? Yes.
Read this?
Say again, Team 1. We are losing your signal.
We're underground. We found near the gate. It's another steel. The place is safe enough to take our time and study it.
It's your call, Team 1. Our Xeno section is dying to get their hands on this thing. But if you're running low on supplies...
Top secret.
Okay.
Project Birthright. Founding document.
So it's the same text. Anytime you go to the log 55, that's the tree we've discovered earlier. So I'm just going to jump ahead. All right. So again, right, this is where we were actually at last time. And I was looking, we could study the central drift or the gravitational anchor. I already feel like we had put some effort into figuring out if this thing could be moved. So that's the option I decided to go with. Let's take a look.
Top secret. Project Birthright. Research log 1F.
Our further research into a gravity tether pinning the steel to one specific location relative to the planet's center proves the link can be severed, given enough energy. This discovery almost cost us the lives of our away team. When we attached the anti-gravity device of my design to the bottom of the steel, it immediately began to glitch, causing deadly anomalies in the immediate area. I prohibited any further experiments with the steel's anchors. Still, I suspect steel theft is possible. It's just insanely dangerous and impractical. I will be scanning the data of various anomalous sites humans found on Earth throughout their history. Maybe one of them is a place from which our own builder's steel was stolen.
Interesting. All right, and we gain a success. All of a sudden, now we're starting to jump up in successes. Getting 6, maybe not impossible. So I think it's at this point where I decide, let's keep going. We still haven't used, we still have ways of getting supplies. So, I'm not even sure at this point if anybody had rested. So, let's keep this adventure going. Finished out her turn. And I don't remember exactly what happened in the event, but I know now we were on to Nicholas's turn, and I was trying to figure out how to play things out, and so we'll pick up right there. Okay, I've taken some time to consider this all, and I think I got it figured out. We are going to send Nicholas down to help out with the stone gate. Forget technology. Brute force is good enough. We just need to figure out a way to get this thing open. He's got the physical ability. So what he's going to do is he's going to spend a charge and roll. He's going to use his special ability. He's still got 1 charge left. So let's... All right. So, that's annoying. So he does have to spend a die. That messes up my plan. Dang it. All right. All right, so this may change things a bit. I was going to be able to knock this off this turn, actually. I'll show you how in a sec. I still could. All right, I got to think. All right, so he does move down. And then it cost me 2 dice to move. That would be his first spent action. And his second action would be activate this. I was going to have Petra assist with a die if he were able to roll his blue die. I just need strength symbols, and then I could use the physical enhancer to finish it off. The alternative, unfortunately, Petra's not in nearly as good a position to resolve this on her own. I mean, she could roll a bunch of red dice. That's not optimal. So my other option is to burn the other charge. Then he'd be in a position to perform the action. Then he could do a rest. I would no longer have any of those charges. But we are going to get leads. There is 1 more charge to get pulled out of this bag. So I would just then give him the extra charge. And I just wouldn't be able to necessarily use her ability. But again, I'm thinking getting those 2 extra supplies might not be worth it. There's a lot of other stuff, because Boris can get 3 dice back. He can get a movement. She can prevent an injury. The double Vanguard ability up there. All right, you know what? We're doing this. He's gonna spend his last charge. He's gonna move there. There's our roll. So nothing this time. He still has not spent an action. So now I could so I think what I'm going to do, because I got 2 of these cards, before I take my action, I'm going to do reallocating resources. Use it for the top ability. Discard 1 discovery to gain a discovery of any type. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to discard this live specimen. We've already got one of those awaiting. And we're going to gain an alien tech. We're going to, you know what, Boris, we're going to give you a shot. Charred plating, planetary exploration. During dice check, you may place this card in the roll pool of any crew member to gain defense and technology. Okay. So now we've got that. Now we have to take his action. His action is going to be to go ahead. There are no danger dice that need to be rolled here. We're going to need 3 successes. So I think the question I'm just asking myself now, right, is do I want to rest first? Or do I want to perform this action first? I think let me perform this action first so I'll have an idea of what dice. So Petra is going to assist with that. We're going to assist with that. From a reroll standpoint, doesn't have much. She can only reroll. She can reroll green dice. No penalty for accident. So I will go ahead and roll the Vanguard die. So let's start with her blue die and just give me a basic symbol. Yes, excellent. Now go with his 2 dice. Okay, so all right, so accident, but I could reroll that. Then I'm giving up the dodge, and what am I really going to do with that? It's just going to let me save the physical enhancer, but no, I think at this point. So all right, so I advance it 2 steps, right? 1, 2, and then we will use the physical enhancer to add gathering and strength to the check. That'll get us the 3rd one we need. So pretty amazing that I have nobody has rested yet. That's about to change. But first, let's gain a success and 2 alien tech leads. All right, so success token, that's success number 4. All right. If there's one more success to be found down here and one up here, then we're golden. But we'll see how things work out. All right, let's shuffle up. Let's grab these 2. I kind of, at this point, do not want to get the 1. I didn't. 2 zeros, good. Okay, so something's working in our favor. Okay, and then we go to log 69. All right, let's find out what's going to happen.
Personal journal.
The door opened.
You know
it was
did.
made of titanium
Nicholas.
alloy, and its stone facade was only a mineral crust that accumulated over the millennia. Behind the gate, the past awaited us. Pristine builder's vault, unopened until now.
All right, place POI with 137. All right, let's see what we got. All right, interesting. The Builder's Vault. Builder's relic from the past, untouched by the passage of time. Ooh, this is not an easy check. This is one of those ones where Millie would definitely be handy to have down here. We got some options, though. So, tinker with the machinery. No failure, success. We just need a xenology and 2 technology. So, we're going to have to see if we can put that together. Let's drop this down over here. Switch over to the game board. Okay. Yeah, now we're going to go ahead and take Nicholas's second action, which is going to be to rest. Finally, we're going to spend some supplies. So let's draw a card, hopefully something useful. A focus. That is... Oof, that's great, but also the ability to draw 3 cards could be really important. All right, so he's got 8 dice. He's going to get 4 of them back. Let me take a moment to figure that out. Okay, so for Nicholas, I grabbed, most importantly, that red die, which he can assist Petra. That'll give her the xenology, hopefully, that she needs. Um, and then his Vanguard, his blue die, which he can use for himself, and a biology die, though. You know what? While it's his turn, I think now is a good time to go ahead and use the dehydrated supplies. Just in case other people need to rest, let's get our supplies back up. So I'm just going to go ahead and spend that, not xenology, biology. All right, so, there is a mission token for this, so I don't know that much matters, but this is where the dehydrated supplies are. You need a place to store them, although they'll be available wherever we need them. We just gain the supplies. That's marked on the lander board, as far as I know. Interesting. Never thought of it the other way. It would almost make more sense for them to be here. But again, that might make thematic sense, but the rules say you keep track of supplies on the lander board. When you gain supplies, you move it up on the lander board. So that's what we did. Yeah. So that is going to be the end of his turn. We're going to go ahead and draw an event. All right. Let's see. Do not believe anything matches here. No, we are very happy at this point to see time passes. I would love to get that other token on the mining probe, and this availability sucks. So the sooner we can get rid of that, the better. Okay, that is the end of Nicholas's turn. Last in the round is Boris, who's like, "Hey, what's going on over there? You guys doing something?" Boy, it's been a long time since Boris has been involved in the action. I guess he was just nursing his wounds. So for Boris, at this point, we're not going to send anybody else down here. We're going to figure out a way to do it with those two. But by the way, this desiccated thing, we'll leave it on the board just because it looks cool. He's going to go ahead and move here. He's going to have to spend 2 dice. And then he's going to have to spend 2 more to move again. So I'm not going to give it too much thought, right? We're just going to spend 2. And then for Boris' second action, spend 2 more dice to move up to the moss, whatever that says. I can't read it from here. All right. So not a very exciting turn, but what needed to be done. He is now scouting ahead to check out this area. And he will draw an event. There's only one icon here. It's vegetation, and there is... Oh, God. It's a suit puncture. All right, so 2 choices here. I can spend a green and a blue, or I can gain a wounded injury. That would be his second injury. Petra's not here to protect him. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and exert, sacrifice a die to get him back. I certainly don't want to lose any blue because I'm thinking I still may end up using his charge. And let's see. Potentially need a green and a red to do this action, although she's probably going to do it with scouting, so it doesn't really matter. Potentially there's gathering to be done at the end to get mineral discoveries, so let's hang on to that. Although I don't necessarily need it back now. Sure, but we will take it back now in case we need something. Probably not going to need something involving strength, but yeah, so let's get that back instead. All right, so the answer to this question, I think we'll sacrifice the red basic die. Don't think I'm going to need that for anything. All right, so now he's gotten back his 5 dice, and we still have to resolve the event. Let's not forget to do that, which is suit puncture, spend a blue and a green. So, unfortunate, but what are you going to do? Boris, man, having a tough go of it. Stumbling over roots, puncturing his suit as he races past and over and gets caught on the desiccated carcass of the carnivorous thicket. Audrey 345, rest in peace. that is the end of Boris's turn and the end of the round. So I'm going to look everything over and figure out the best approach for the next round. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and start with Petra this round to see what's going on down here. And so the first thing I'm going to need to do is to rest, get her some dice back. Definitely that blue die, definitely that die, which can get her Xeno. I want to be able to loan that Vanguard die to Millie. But the rest of it, it's hard to say. She's got the jetpack, so let's just get her all the red dice back so that when it's time to move out of here, yeah, okay, I put that in the wrong column, so that was not a wise choice. So I actually don't have room for all of them. I will be able to move that die out of there, but not until I roll, I don't think. So let's switch this around. And for the other die, let's go ahead with a green die. Okay. Well, in case she needs to assist Nicholas, maybe we'll need another feat of strength. All right, unlikely, but let's go ahead and draw a card as well. All right, that's cool. Being able to either draw 2 cards or re-roll. All right, so Tinker. I got a couple different ways of going about this. I'm just taking her first action. Let's mark that off. So certainly no problem getting the Xenology symbol. She's got the convertibility. I do have the bioanalyzer still. As far as the 2 science, as far as the 2 tech, I've got the 1 tech. So these 2 dice here can do the trick for her. There's a couple different ways to do it. I do have that alien tech I picked up over here. Does have the ability to give the charred plating, can get me the tech I need. So break glass in case of emergency. That's available. Nicholas is certainly going to assist. I think let him give a Vanguard die. Now, if I really want to go all in, I could also focus, right? So I think let's be a little bit safer about it. Let's go ahead and roll these. Yeah, let's go ahead and roll these 2 dice as well. So now I'm rolling a total of 5 dice. I need 3 symbols. So I just need to hit on 2 of them, and then Nicholas can play focus to give me the other one, if it comes to that. This just seems really important. I don't want to mess around with failing it. I prefer not to give up my alien tech. Boris definitely doesn't want to see that go away. Okay. So let's go to it. We'll start with Nicholas's assistance. Not great so far. Not great, Bob. Petra, what do you got? All right. Let's get rid of you. And let's take a look. These are Petra's dice. This was Nicholas's die. We have 2 of the things we need. We are short. We could use a bioanalyzer, but you know what? Let's just go ahead and play the focus. So we'll discard these 2 dice to turn this die to the Vanguard side. So these are going to go back. These are going to go back into Nicholas's pool. He's assisted again. So with focus, move 2 dice from the roll pool to the spent pool to turn 1 other die to the Vanguard result. So that's exactly what we did. Then that's going to give us all the symbols we need. Okay, I moved dice around a little bit wrong. All right, so 3. We are successful. We have tinkered with the machinery. We are going to log 160. Oh, gain a success. Well, that was anticlimactic. Oh, here we go.
Do you have anything from science?
I'm uploading their analysis. You should have it by now.
Give us a moment. So, we were right. This machine should have planted the seed of life on this planet, but it didn't. Should we turn it on? Or do you want us to scrap it and haul it to Vanguard?
Captain's orders are simple. You should...
All right, all players discuss and choose one. So we're not leaving the machine alone and coming back later. We're all in. Turn the machine on as the builders would have wanted. Maybe take the machine apart. All right. Let's think about who's here and who's making this decision. We have Petra and Nicholas. And Nicholas is in charge. He is science. He's also the commander of this mission. Let me get a quick reminder. A loyal and driven soldier, Nicholas jumped at the chance to test bleeding edge power armor in his early 20s. Eager to prove himself and make a difference, Nicholas logged more missions than any other trooper in his unit, but the side effects of a power armor's neural link were unmistakable. The link between Nicholas and his armor can never be severed, but he's found new purpose aboard Vanguard, where his strength and tenacity can be a boon. Boy, I think in this situation, as he's trying to better understand his abilities, yeah, I think we're going to take the machine apart. I think probably a little bit nervous about turning it on. Do we really know what the builders would have wanted? Yeah, let's take it apart.
We've found many interesting parts and one curious alien module.
Nope.
Do you copy, Vanguard?
Copy that, away team. Sorry, I didn't realize you were waiting for praise. Excellent job.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've gained alien tech. Wow, gain 1 alien tech discovery and unique discovery 10. Okay, replace this POI with card 141. Shuffle the S12 ship situation, illegal drugs from future situations into possible situation. The discovery's research data leaked from the science laboratories and was used by ill-willed people. Okay, let's take a look. First of all, we found an abandoned cave. It continues on. We can map the surroundings. Ooh, you must lose 1 supplies to perform this action. And we have to succeed on that. We need scouting and technology to go check that log. Boy, okay. Let's drop that down. You have to think long and hard about that one. Losing 1 supplies is no small thing. We've also found the Seed of Life. When you gain this card, each crew member gains a charge. Hallelujah. Okay, well that really opens up our options, because now we could afford to gain 2 more supplies. Okay, so and then we gain an alien tech discovery, and again I'll remind you that any tokens on here are discarded. So in this case, 2 reshuffle zeros are going to go back into the bag. Alien tech is a locked container. Rare alien tech. When unloaded, you may discard this card to draw 1 random discovery of any type. That's amazing. Amazing. Because now, Boris. Hey, guess what, Boris? We got 2 strange flora, 2 rare alien tech. It's exactly what you were looking for, right? So, when you end a planetary exploration with at least 2 strange flora and 2 alien tech discoveries and no other discoveries except unique, we're there right now, then you go to completion. So, and then we can trade in that alien tech for minerals later on, which will enable us to do more research. That's awesome. Could not have asked for a better card right there. All right. So this was all on Petra's turn, right? The first thing was to rest. The second was to perform this action. So we will go ahead and draw her event. All right. Violent eruption. Yeah, somewhere one of other crew members is like having tremors. I think he's still in medbay, recovering from his panic attack. That would Keith Wood, right? So don't tell Keith Wood about that. But no, there was no violent eruption here. There's just advancing of the time tracks. I mean, I want to get rid of this stupid travel thing sooner the better. But although it's actually of minimal effect, he's got another chart. Well, she's got the jetpack. We'll figure it out. Okay. That's then going to take us to Nicholas's turn. So the question is now, do we want to spend a supply and check this out further? I mean, I do want to try and get that 6th success and also, fully explore this place. So yeah, probably. So let me just figure out the best way to make that happen. All right, so I'm looking over here, and Millie's got both the symbols she needs to do this. So think we're going to hang out here a little bit longer. We'll do it on her turn. So Nicholas is just going to take this opportunity to rest up a bit. We're down to 1 supplies. He's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's going to get 4 dice back. Let's get that Vanguard. Boy, and you know what? I just realized I did not roll Petra's injury die on that last check. So let me just go ahead and do that. All right, no effect. And now I can put it back. I'll put it in the blue column. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she doesn't necessarily need to rest. She can exert. But he is going to rest. Because what else is he going to do? All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, instead of the gathering, we'll get science just in case. Actually, I don't know. It's something. My gut instinct tells me construction. Might have to put back together that which we took apart. All right, and then he draws a card. Power of Analysis. Discard 1 charge, again 2 lead tokens of any type. It's not terrible, actually, but I'm not going to discard a charge at this point. His charges are too valuable. Discard 1 lead token from any discovery die. Discard 1 danger die from your roll pool. That's very good. All right, so second action. That was his first action. Second action, he is going to go ahead and prepare, just so I can kind of move through my deck a bit. Maybe, I like all these cards though, but none of them are going to help him assist. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead. It's another comparative analysis. Well, that's an easy choice. I'll just discard one of those. Okay, end of turn. Draw an event. All right, there is not a devouring torrent here, so once again, the time tracks are going to advance. Very good. Keep them moving. That brings us to Boris, who's just hanging out here, being like, Millie, where are you? Come on. Let's check this out. And indeed, let me see what he's going to do on his turn. All right, so Boris isn't really well equipped to do this test, and he can help out Millie from anywhere. So he's going to go ahead, because she's got a live stream ready. So he's going to go ahead and brave his way back to the lander sector, which is not the easiest of things to do. It is going to be a couple of B die rolls. So let me get my chart. This is just all kinds of bad. But let's see what happens. There's nothing to be done for it. We got to make our way through. Yeah, I was worried about that. That's lose of supplies. So that's our last supply loss. That would not have been so bad if we didn't have a supply left. But it's good that we haven't. This, by the way, a good reason. Don't use cards to give you supplies until you need them. I mean, I did do it in the case of Nicholas because the other turns were going to come around. I didn't know when he was going to go again. But, that lander card I can do anytime. So I'm not going to do it now. I'm not going to do it until I need to spend those supplies. Now we're going to move again. And I am going to have to roll again. And now one would be a great result because I don't have any supplies to lose. It's a 2, which is not good. God. I'm sorry, Boris. Watch out for the fire swamps. The plume of ash burning up from the ground as Boris has gotten a burned injury. We've seen those. We took a look at them before, but yeah, I have one sitting right out here. Right, we were trying to decide at the beginning. All right, basic results are accidents. Not good. He is wounded and burned. We are going to have to take an injury die, put it in this column. He's already burned away one of his red dice. All right, that being down over here. So, but that is it for Boris's turn. Let's draw his event. There's a whole mess of things. An enticing vista. This is an enticing vista. All right, so you can spend 2 dice to draw 2 cards. Not really useful. Or you may discard 2 cards to refresh 2 dice. That is useful. All right, so I am going to discard a focus. Reroll any number of blue dice. Yeah, I'd rather stick with the sure thing of being able to focus. So we're going to do that. We're going to get 2 dice back. That's just going to give him more options if he's assisting other people. Okay, and no time track advancement. So now we are on to Millie's turn. All right, so I think in her case, she's at her max cards. She's going to exert. She's currently got 7 dice. We'll let Petra do a rest. Yeah, Millie's just gonna, and we're gonna need, and then we're gonna need to spend a supply to do that test. So, let me go ahead. We definitely want that die back. There. All right, give me a sec. I'm gonna figure this out. I'll figure out her next action as well. All right. I mean, Millie, as long as it almost doesn't matter what dice she's rolling because of the assistance she's gonna get. She's gonna burn off her strength die. It's not gonna do her any good here, where she's headed. She's gonna have to spend 2 dice anyway. She's gonna get 5 dice back. It's not an action, so she can then spend 2 dice to move up here. So I think we'll spend this general green. We'll spend that. Okay. So now she can go ahead and do this action. And she's got 4 charges. Let's see how we roll this time. But she's going to have to roll a danger die. Let me put together a dice pool. I can say probably we're just going to have everyone throw in a Vanguard. Let's just, make sure we get this done. That even might be overkill. So let me take a sec. I'll figure this exactly out. All right, I will have her roll 1 die. I could, with her charges, I wouldn't even have to. But let's allow for a little bit of possibility. So I do have to roll a danger die to map the surroundings. I think that's a B. Let me get a better look and double check. Yeah, that's a B die. So, maybe we'll get the lose supplies result. Would not be sad about that at this point since we have no supplies. So we'll start with her dice. All right. Oh, God, she is also getting burned. And I don't have a way of dealing with that. Oof. Okay. Then accident. All right. Well, we did get a Vanguard, but so I think in this case, now first of all, Nicholas did assist with a die, so he has completed his individual objective, this immediately ranks him up. He's now, check out his new look. Yeah, so now he can convert red or blue to strength, and nothing else changes. It's the ability is the same, charges are the same, but that is a very nice. That also means if he's doing things on the ship that require symbols, he could apply 2 symbols. So I'm not sure how often that'll actually come into play, though, because like with spending a die, it would have to be, you know, if you were trying to boost a production project that required strength, you'd have to spend them to bump it, and then you wouldn't be able to bump it again. You don't get the 2 expenditures. It would have to be something that required 2 symbols. But still very cool to, hey, we've completed our first individual objective. Excited about that. All right, let's go back to this dreadful result. There's nothing to be done for the burned injury. I'm just really glad that we lost the 4 spies and didn't take these burned injuries earlier. I think that would have had a really rough effect on things. All right, so we got a die. I've already lost a blue, so we'll just throw it up there. She's rank 2 anyway. Oh, no, she's rank 1. Okay, so that was the burn result. As to this, don't have a lot in the way of successes, so I'm just going to burn 2 charges. I'm going to, both of the dice that were, actually, one of the ones was given her as a Vanguard. I'm going to turn it to a double Vanguard. I'm going to turn the other one to a double Vanguard. So, they're the new results. So her die was a waste, but, we did get the double Vanguard from Boris, the Vanguard from Nicholas. That gives us 4 scouting, which is enough to run this track. Gain 2 strange flora leads. Don't really need those, and replace with a random P131. All right. Again, we do not want to draw the 1. Let's see if. All right, 2 zeros. So far so good. Let that mining rig do the work for us. Okay. A random P131. So let me grab one of those. All right. So we have found swaying trees. We can investigate the roots, going to log 333. We can also make an observation point, which would gain us a success. That would be success number 6. So, hey, we are going to have a shot to rank up our level 2s. Awesome. Okay. So that was that. And, right, so she exerted, then she moved, then she used her second action to go ahead and do that action. So now we draw an event card. Yeah, it's got the leaves. So there's a hurricane here. All right, I hate this card, but we'll deal with it. It's actually not that huge a deal. Discard every lead token from Discovery decks, although what sucks about this is we were just getting ready to pull out the one we needed. Each crew member may roll the A die any number of times to save 1 chosen lead token from being discarded. That is not timely. I wish I had a way to cancel an event. I don't. So I certainly don't mind discarding this 0. It's just going to go here. I don't want to discard any of my 1s. I want to get that 1 more. I mean, do I need the mineral discovery? Now that I think about it, I was so keyed into getting it, but I've got 2 alien tech. I've got 2 strange flora. I'm not even going to be able to keep them all. I've got what I need to, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to let them all go. We don't need any more discoveries. I totally forgot that we had gotten that extra one without leads, which took care. So we'll throw a bunch of stuff back in the bag. It is no longer possible for us to get a discovery. We've once again reached that situation. Okay. So that was that event. We're not rolling. Nobody's rolling the A die. We're not going to deal with that. I guess the only reason to maybe leave 1 out would be if Nicholas wanted to use this, discard a lead token from any discovery deck to discard 1 danger die from your roll pool. You know what? He's with... I am going to just keep 1 out. right? So it doesn't even matter which one. I'm just going to keep a token on one of these decks. So to keep the possibility, in order to do that, I just have to roll danger die A. It's a 3. It's no effect. My thought was if he did get a wound, he's with Millie. Or not Millie. He's with Petra, so she's got 2 charges. She could have protected him. All right, so we keep 1 token out there just in case. Although we're probably going to get more tokens from doing other stuff, so I don't even know why I bothered. But I did it. That was the end of Millie's turn as we resolved her event. So that means the end of the round. So once again, I'm going to take a moment to survey the land and figure out who is going first. All right, so I'm gonna have Millie go first because she's in a position to finish this off, and Boris is back hanging out at the lander sector. Okay, so I'm looking at these 2 options, right? I can investigate the routes. That leads to a log. It's hard. It's more difficult. Well, as much as I like story point, we're playing strategically. I want that rank up. It's sitting right in front of me. I don't want to take a risk that maybe this gets replaced with something that I can't get a success or it's too hard to do. So I'm just going to look to make an observation point. I don't care about the 4 strange flora leads. I just want to be able to get that success. All I have to do is roll a red and a green. I do have to roll this burn die, but accidents don't matter. There's no penalty, so this is a can't fail. I don't even need anybody to assist. Nicholas he's done his fill of assisting. He's completed his objective, so we just roll. All right, so this doesn't even have an effect injury-wise. Throw that back wherever we want. These 2 are spent, and we gain a success and replace with 4 zeros. So, or 000. Okay, we're getting on to the home stretch, hopefully. We've done that. We've got our 6 success tokens. Everybody's going to be able to rank up. Fantastic. I think she is going to start making her way out of here. I do have to roll the B die. So let's see. Yikes. Yeah, that's rough for Millie. That is her 2nd burned injury. Oof. I just need to be careful. I may wait so that she can get some help from Petra before she goes any further. Okay. And she's got to draw an event. Let's see. Useful vegetation. Yeah, it matches. You may spend 2 dice to gain 1 supplies and roll a danger die. I'm not doing that. Don't care. Not to mention, I don't have the dice. I could exert, but not worth it. Not worth it at all. That is the end of her turn. We're now at Petra's. So I am going to go ahead. Everybody's going to spend a charge. And then I will go ahead and gain 2 supplies. And so it's really just a question then, do I want to spend a supply to let her rest as opposed to exerting? Yeah, I'm just going to have her exert in this situation. I'll get rid of the basic blue so that I have room for everything. 5. All right, she has not taken an action yet. So her first action is going to be to map these surroundings. So she's got the dice she needs. Let's have her also roll a Vanguard die. She's got to roll this 2. She's wounded. She might have to spend a die. He is going to offer up a die, and there's a reason for this. We'll have him offer up his basic green die. I could potentially play some cards. So let me go ahead and make this dice check. Start with his assistance. All right. Just a basic green, but that's good. That enables her to draw cards if need be. All right. Oh, that is a thing of beauty because we got exactly the symbols we needed. So that is going to let us go to log 393. First up, do I want... sure. Let me spend this symbol we got from Nicholas to catch a breath, draw cards, give us a couple options, see what we might want to look at. When another crew member would gain injury, you can gain it instead. Reroll a green die. Remove threats, discard danger dice. I mean, that's the heroic thing to do. So we'll give her that card, even though we hope not to have to use it. The advantage to that is, right, if somebody in the sector, her ability only works in her sector. So if somebody in the next sector over would take a wound, she can take it on herself and then use her ability to prevent it, because now she's the one taking the wound. All right. This die just goes to the spent pool. This had no effect. And now we're going to go ahead and read log 393.
Even deeper.
I can't understand you.
Back up!
Still can't hear you. Are you all right? Are you there? Damn.
Can you hear us now?
Finally, yes.
The cave system is vast and deep. We only checked its very first part.
Arcane of success. All right, and card 142. Just when you thought we were almost done here, not yet. All right, caves and tunnels spread in every possible direction. So in order to search cave system, you have to gain a panicked injury. You're going to freak out digging into these caves. If you gain the panic injury during this action, discard it along the injury die. So if you manage to get the top result, then you're not going to be panicked. Otherwise, you can just succeed with 3 red and a blue, go to log 418. Failure is really bad. So let's not fail. I mean, okay. Yeah, I think we're going to stick around. She could leave now, but she's going to stay here and assist. She's got that protect die. She's also got the scouting die, but it's going to have to be Nicholas who does the action. All right, I think we can make this work. So she's going to stick around. I will have her prepare for her second action, draw a card. During a dice check, reroll an injury die. I'm not too worried about that. So we'll get rid of that. Okay. That is going to do it for her turn. Draw an event, which are really the only things. Well, there's plenty of things that can hurt us here. All right. So there are no corrosive fumes. So time tracks advance. We finally got rid of this stupid travel thing. Hopefully the other's better. 2 mining leads. Ooh, +1 charge. Hadn't even realized we still had that other one in here. Give the charge to Nicholas. Okay, that was the end of her turn. It is Nicholas's turn, so we're getting close to the end. Well, it's a long one, but trying to do everything. Let me figure this out. All right, we've got 1 supply left, so I'm going to go ahead and Nicholas is going to use that so to rest. So he is going to get his 4 dice back, which is going to get him up to full dice. He's going to draw a card. That's good. Reroll any number of greens. Being able to get rid of danger dice, good. Refreshing dice. Discarding a discovery to gain a discovery. I mean, these are all good cards, so what am I going to get rid of? I don't think... Refreshing 2 blue dice. I mean, it's not bad, but I don't know. I think it's more important to be able to do these other things. So, although no, I've got, at this point I've got the discoveries I want. So I am going to get rid of reallocating resources. I'll hold on to that. Give myself the most option for abilities. All right. So that was action number 1. Action number 2, he's going to go ahead and do this check. I don't want to wait around. We're going to get this defense die. He's definitely going to roll his Vanguard die. I can reroll any number of green. Let's also do this. We could get it right back with this. Well, no, that's blue dice, so never mind. All right. I was thinking of maybe recompiling work, but save that for the future. So we're really just looking at these two, and then the question is, do I want, in order to try and get this scouting symbol, I think we want to make sure that we're going to be able to do this either way. So I am going to roll 2 red dice. So we are rolling in our pool 3 red dice and a green. So I realize now with the panicked injury, I have to make that decision now in terms of... So, right, he's going to gain a panicked injury. I can use her charge to prevent that from happening. But I need to save her charge to potentially help her move. So he is going to take the panicked injury. Which means I'm going to have to roll it in this check. All right, well, losing a supplies doesn't matter. Rerolling a Vanguard from your roll pool is definitely not good. I think I'm just going to backtrack a sec. It would have probably made more sense to hold on to the hemostatic dressing, knowing that this was coming. In which case, I will discard the reroll of green. Okay. So he's got panicked. 1 sec. I will say this is the most injuries I've ever had on one of these missions to my recollection. I mean, I think I got 5 injuries spread across everybody now. More than that, 6, because he lost a die. But the crew's still going. All right, we've got our dice pool, so let's go ahead and see. Hopefully we can become unpanicked. Wow. Okay. That's pretty good. All right. So let's start by resolving the injury die. Well, we do have rerolls, but we don't need them. It doesn't hit. So we are just in a situation where... All right, so that double Vanguard is going to give us the top result. Then I do have the option, if I wanted to draw 3 cards, I could do that. I think I'm just gonna stand pat with what I've got. So use that double Vanguard. I'm not going to play any. I could gain a live specimen lead. What's the point? I'm not even going to bother. Well. Never say don't bother. I don't know. Who knows? We'll just throw it out there. So I will activate the global condition to gain a live specimen using the 1 Vanguard die. Then the double Vanguard finishes this. I really hope this is it. We're going to log 418. I do get rid of the panicked injury, so that's very nice. Easy come, easy go. Glad I didn't burn a charge.
Anonymous Memoir.
I write it here as a warning. I don't want to think about this place more than I must. The tunnels twist endlessly, and with them, my mind. The light of my flashlight was devoured by creeping darkness. Something invisible stalked me the entire time. Something whispered in my ear, "Do not enter the depths of the mossy planet. They are home to horrors beyond our perception."
Okay. Gain a success and a mineral lead. And that's... All right. So I went ahead and did that. I'm up to 8 successes now. That was Nicholas's first action, right? Oh no, his first action was to rest. So he's done. So let's go ahead. And by the way, so that stays out there. I did check the logbook. This is one of those checkbox situations where it's actually diminishing results every time. And there's the flag on here. There's nothing else to be found here. I think at this point we actually have a flag in every single area except the lander sector. We have drained this planet, explored everything there is to explore. Amazing that we were able to do it with some limited resources, losing 4 supplies, but we're not out of the woods yet. We do have to see if we can make it off this planet. So let's go ahead and have Nicholas draw his event. All right. We do not have to deal with an ambush. It's just time tracks. Mining probe and the matching season. All right, so then that is the end for Nicholas. We move on to Boris. I'm not going to mess around. He's just going to prepare twice and hang out. Don't want to roll any dice. Don't want to get injured. Don't want to come up with something crazy to do. So that's the end of his turn. Do have to draw an event. All right. Symbols do not match. So once again, we're just advancing the time tracks. And we move on. We move on to Millie. She's not going to move, and she's recon, right? So she actually has cards that let her move. So let's see if we can't get them. She's going to. She doesn't have any dice anyway right now. So she is going to prepare, which is going to give her hideout. So she's not going to have to draw an event. That's nice. She's going to discard one of these cards. And then she'll prepare a second time. There we go. Safe path. Move 1 crew member from your sector to a connected sector. So that's going to be her ticket out of here. Those are her 2 actions. She's going to go ahead and play hideout. And I discarded catch your breath. Although, I could have played it before, but it's fine. So she's going to play that to not draw an event. So then we can just move right on to the next round. And sure, we'll start with Petra, keep that going because she's got to get out of here. Okay, so from Petra's standpoint, this one's easy. Jetpack. Actually, because I'll just have her exert. So jetpack. So 1, 2. Having done that, let's go ahead and draw her event. Just a time passes. No symbol match. Okay. On to Nicholas. At this point, we are just rolling a die, and we don't want an accident. So let's start here. He'll roll science. Yeah, he's fine. And then he'll move again. Actually, I can reroll green dice, so let me roll a green die. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so those are his 2 actions. He'll draw an event. Friendly wildlife. I can roll. I'm not going to do that. I can roll a danger dice to refresh 3 dice, but I don't want to. I'm done. I'm good on rolling dice, even though he's got no injuries. It'd be nice for the leader of this mission to get out of here without having taken any injuries. So that is the end of his turn. Again, that was in May. We choose not to interact with like the babies of Audrey 3, 4, and 5 as they're chomping. They can't come after us, so we're just going to stay away from them. Back to Boris. He's just going to prepare twice. There's this, again, no advantage to getting leads. We got 8 successes. I don't think there's any more to be found. If you're in a section with mission equipment, roll up to 3 dice from your spend pool. Cool. We'll keep that. Not that we need it. Okay. That's it for Boris. So let's draw his event. Whole mess of symbols here, but I don't know that any of them match. Yeah, this place is desert. There's a malfunction. Loses supplies. Unfortunately, you can't choose an option if you can't do it. So instead, we're going to have to roll. Oh my goodness. Is that danger die G? All right, hold on a moment. Oh, yeah, danger die G. This actually has the least shot of getting wounded of most of these or injured. So, looking at danger die G on a common result, that's a 1. We lose a personal equipment. He doesn't even have any. We would lose the supplies on an uncommon result of 2. On a 3 on the rare result, we would gain a burned injury. So let's not roll a 3, please. All right, it's a 1. So we do lose the personal equipment that we don't have. No penalty if you can't fulfill it. Whew, that was scary. Okay. Last but not least, let's see. Move 1 crew member from your sector. So she could do this. But you know what? Instead, I'm just going to have her prepare. I am going to do for... Well, that was prepare. I drew a card. For the second part of prepare, I am going to do a dice check. But before I do that, I do have to exert. So let's just drop one of these dice. Drop a green die. Refresh everything else. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, then in my dice check, I will just roll a single green die. All right, good. Basic result. I will use that to play safe path. Move 1 crew member from your sector to a connected sector, ignoring the path icons. Immediately go to the spend dice check step of this check. So that moves her over here. She is safely back in the lander sector, where there is a little bit more risk of events, so there would have been some benefit to staying there, but that was our first action. It was prepare, so we both drew a card, and did that affect second action? We'll just prepare. Hey, look at that. We drew hideout. So I'm just going to play that and not draw an event. Okay. That ends it for her turn. So again, everybody's gone. We will just keep in the pattern we've been going. We will have Petra go first. So in her situation, she's going to need some cards back. So we will just chuck a die. And she's going to exert and refresh 5 dice. She is then going to just use the jetpack twice. 1, 2. Again, I'm ignoring the symbol, so I don't have to roll any dice there. Very handy. That's the end of her turn, so let's go ahead and draw an event. Impossible structure doesn't take effect. These both go, so we, just because, we draw 2 more mineral leads. And we discard this condition. All right, it is now Swarm. Traveling, you have to spend 2 dice or roll the G die to move to a connected sector. That's not fun. You could gain 2 live specimens, but rolling the C die. Again, all things we're not going to do. Okay, that was her. We're almost there. All right, Nicholas, let's get her done. All right, spend a charge. Let's actually wait for the more difficult stuff. Spend 2 dice for your first movement to go up here. For your next movement, spend a charge, roll the A die. This is not an action. That's a 1, so you do have to spend 1 more die. That's going to move him. So first was to go up here. Second was to use that, and now he's actually got his second action, which allows him an opportunity to get out of here. So he just has to roll danger die B. Don't see any other way around this, so we will just go ahead and do it. But it doesn't matter. She's still got a charge, so she could help out if need be. Oh, look at that. Blank. So he has freely made it. Nicholas Green is now in the lander sector. Drawing an event. All right. Stuck does not apply. Time tracks move. Now it is Boris's turn. He does have to go. I don't care. Prepare. draw an event. There is not a pyroclastic bomb here. No match. Time tracks move. Whew. All right. Millie, prepare. Prepare. Safe path. Sure, we'll hold on to that. No, it doesn't matter. Other than that, right, so first you move one crew member from your sector to a connected sector. So no, that doesn't quite work. Again, it's that other one that you can move somebody away to you. So once she gets to rank 2, next time she goes out, she'll have access to those better movement cards. That's the end of her turn. We are going to have to draw an event. Strange Microbe does not happen, so time tracks pass. That's the end of the round. That brings us all the way back to Petra, who is going to use her jetpack to move to the lander sector, and her final action to take off. Oh, we did it. All right, lift off, 440. We're done, right? I mean, we can go to sleep. Everything's done. We can rest. Yeah, let's find out.
Congratulations, away team. Another job well done.
Good.
Just so you know,
well-deserved rest.
We're preparing a welcome party once you're aboard.
Yes, celebrate.
Much appreciated, Captain.
What's your progress?
We're about to finish our slingshot maneuver around the planet. It should launch us right into Vanguard's interception course. The current estimate is...
Collision alert. Brace for evasive maneuver.
No.
Away team, we lost your feed. What's happening? Come in, away team.
That was a close one.
Okay.
We almost hit something in the upper orbit. Something like an artificial satellite? It was partially cloaked.
A satellite? Here? This planet had no advanced civilization. This means...
Sir, we could make another go around the planet and try to take a closer look.
No, away team. You've risked enough for today. Get back home. We'll send another team to fetch this thing.
Yeah.
Wayman out.
All right, compliance relations. You've completed this planetary exploration. Move research project RO9, the Black Knight, from research project to the waiting envelope, and objective 003, cloaked satellite. Okay, are we on Everstorm? No. All right, so everybody's in the lander sector. All right, we get to take off. We'll take a look at these cards a little bit later. I'll just throw them in the awaiting area. Yeah. All right, so that was did not have the climactic ending of the last one, kind of a little drawn out, but there were definitely risks there with and we came very close to Boris getting his third injury, but we made it. In fact, we are now at the point, right? So that is the end of planetary exploration. So Boris has fulfilled his mission, his rank up. So he has now become super good at biology. That's very cool. So we'll go ahead and put in his upgrade. We do have 6 discoveries. We're going to have to get rid of one of those, but we're going to do all that next time in the ship phase. So, boy, if you made it through this one, again, I must be doing something right. So thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thumbs up, very much appreciated. Any comments? I like engaging. If you have just any thoughts, whether on Board Game Geek here on YouTube, would love to hear what you think. Other than that, until next time.